The United States Navy has come out in a statement and confirmed something that many of us have long suspected to be the truth. The story of Gilligan's Island and the SS Minnow? Well, that's true. It's based on actual confirmable events. It's possible to go out for a 3-hour pleasure cruise and have a storm so violent just appear out of nowhere that it pulls us so wildly off course that we end up on an uncharted island, trapped and with no hope of rescue because, of course, the island is uncharted. Now, we're going to get into the details of this, but I would like to also share some fantastic news. The Patriot Nurse is coming to Florida. That's right. Earlier today, in one of her live videos, she confirmed that Jacksonville, Florida is on her itinerary. If you go to her class calendar at patriotnurse.com, you'll see it all the way down at the bottom. Jacksonville, Florida, April 25, 26, 27, and 28. The Foundations of Medical Prep, 101, 201, and 301. The combination 4-day class. This is definitely something you want to put on your schedule. There's, 6 months lead time, November to April. So that gives everyone plenty of time to arrange the finances, arrange the timing. This is something you definitely need to do. Now, in that video that she did earlier today, it was kind of sandwiched in between the two live events that I did with the governor. She makes some amazing observations and points about where we are in this nation. Her live is titled, Land of the Free Only If We're Brave, Biden's New Mandate. She says some things in this that are going to resonate in a massive way over the next year. It's about decisions people have to make. In the first video that I did, we got into a discussion after the governor was done speaking, he and his wife, about this thing called Resiliency Florida. And Resiliency Florida is a program put together by our First Lady, talking about teaching kids about the dangers of substance abuse. Now, there's a group of people out there who think that certain substances are perfectly fine, weed, and other substances are just terrible. But one thing that you can never deny about when you go to substances to fix your problem is you're not giving God the opportunity to. And in this particular video, the Patriot Nurse talks about how we are going to have to put our money where our mouth is, so to speak, when it comes to faith. With the mandates, if it requires you step away, let go, let God. If you have to walk away from a job because of this, let go. And let God be your provider. Let God be the one that steps in and causes the miracle to happen in your life. Now, I'm not going to take away all of this. There's so much. It's only 17 minutes, 46 seconds long. Definitely go check this out. It will be worth your time. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are still scratching your heads about what I led off with. Gilligan's Island, McKee, what are you talking about? What did the Navy say that could possibly have confirmed anything? Well, we remember the story, don't we? Those of us who watched Gilligan's Island. He was a little ship captain, and this little tiny ship had both a captain and a first mate, and they had 5 passengers, and they were just taking them out for a little pleasure cruise. And the story was the storm, and they came up, and they couldn't make their way back to port, and they ended up on an uncharted island. Uncharted. Definition: uninvestigated, unplumbed, unplumbed. Yeah, that's what it says. Unidentified, hidden, unmapped, unrevealed, unnamed, unexplained, concealed. What does this have to do with anything? U.S. Navy. This is talking about the USS Connecticut, the attack submarine that allegedly slammed into what was that at that time an unknown object months ago. Well, now they're saying investigation concludes. USS Connecticut grounded on uncharted seamount in South China Sea. Uncharted. Now, those of you who know anything about satellite imagery or how much technology we have invested in our naval vessels, you're probably falling out of your chair. Yep, that's right. Most advanced attack submarines ever created. This one just sailed into a mountain and grounded itself. Currently in Guam, apparently they're going to be doing the repairs in Bremerton. They've got it back together enough that it can make the journey from Yokosuka, from the 7th Fleet, all the way back here. Now, this is 1 November. Let me see if I get this right. Yep, 1 November 2021. It was an uncharted seamount. Investigators have determined USS Connecticut SSN-22 hit an uncharted seamount that grounded the nuclear attack submarine on the underwater feature in the South China Sea. Navy USNI has learned. The results of the command investigation into the October 2 incident completed last week have now been passed up to U.S. 7th Fleet Commander Vice Admiral Carl Thomas to review, to determine if there will be any additional accountability actions over the incident. If it was an uncharted seamount, how could they have avoided it? They could have avoided it about as easy as the SS Minnow could have avoided that island. Now, 4 November, U.S. Navy punishes sub that hit mountain in South China Sea. Wait a minute. I thought it was an uncharted seamount. See, they've gotten rid of all of that language here. Commander Cameron Al-Yalani, Lieutenant Commander Patrick Cashin, and Master Chief Sonar Technician Corey Rogers were relieved of command due to loss of confidence. Vice Admiral Carl Thomas, Commander of 7th Fleet, has determined that sound judgment, prudent decision-making, and adherence to required procedures in navigation planning, watch team execution, and risk management could have prevented the incident. Really? So was it charted or was it uncharted? It says it was uncharted. They don't deny that here. There were no deaths, only injuries. Now, this gives further credence to the bullshit story about the Fitzgerald. You see, nothing happened to any of the commanders or people who were on duty as far as actions like this. And in the combination of the two events, the McCain and the Fitzgerald, there were 17 dead. Here, nobody was injured. And they've relieved the top 3. Well, the top 2 and 1 sonar tech. No, I'm sorry, but to me, that's the most Gilligan's Island thing I've ever heard. That is the most ridiculous. And why do I say that? Okay, so we go back to our picture here, right? We got a little hole here, and we got a little hole here. You can see here. That's all they would have to fix, really. It's all they would have to fix is a couple of holes, right? They couldn't do that. It was impossible to fix the boat, but they created a working car. They created 1, 2, 3, 4 giant huts with cathedral ceilings. As you can see here, this is 6, 7 feet right here, and they've got these giant rafters going up to probably 10 or 12 feet. But could not get off the island. Couldn't build a raft big enough to get off the island, or even send a raft out with some type of an SOS. They created this giant, what looks like sonar, weather, radar thing with bearings and cycles you could ride. They created stills. They created stages. They had a talent show. They don't, and I know it's all Hollywood. I get that. But if you believe the story out of the Navy about one of these attack subs hitting an uncharted mountain and then they're going to fire the people in charge, yeah, I'm sorry, but that's about as conspiracy theory as it gets. If you would honestly believe that. Clearly something happened to that sub. China sent a message. And they don't want people to know about it. So I'm sorry, but the Navy's just confirming Gilligan's Island for me. Because that's literally what you would have to believe. And probably the most unbelievable thing of all is, of all the people that are still alive, who would have guessed Ginger would be last man standing? If you could have picked anyone on that in that group of people to be last man standing, I don't think any of us would have picked Ginger, but she's the only one still alive. And she wasn't even the youngest. Apparently Bob Denver and Dawn Wells were younger than her. We can look down from space and we can read a license plate with satellites. Even you can say we look down from 60,000 feet and see a license plate, even if you don't believe in space. But we're supposed to believe that somewhere out here in the middle of the ocean, there's an uncharted seamount that we can't see. And they won't even say where. And they won't even really give you details of what exactly transpired that led to the grounding of the submarine. So, anyway, earlier today we did 2 lives. One with the First Lady and the Governor. The other one was just the Governor, talking about an alliance of states that we're putting together to combat the enemy of the states, the enemy of the people, Washington, D.C. Something this channel has been talking about for a long time. In this particular live event with commentary, after the event was over, I was having a conversation with some people in chat, and some people were taking umbrage at the fact that I made the statement that drugs are a bad choice for your life. That starting down the path of relying on substances to fix your problems will always lead to catastrophe. There's a greater point, though, and it goes right along with what the Patriot nurse was saying in her earlier live. Now, we didn't collude on this. It was just something that just happened to occur. If you are using drugs of any kind to fix the problems in your life, you are then, by definition, precluding God from doing it. If you are using substances to fix the problems in your life, it means you don't believe God has the power to do it. You don't have faith in God enough to create a miracle in your life. And that's kind of close to what the Patriot nurse was talking about. She had referenced, he is the one who owns cattle on 1,000 hills. He can do anything. It's your job to show up, have faith, and let him work the miracle. You see, for the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing. But to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. 1 Corinthians 1, 18 through 19. So, anyway, I will leave it there. But God bless. And if you have the ability, the wherewithal, the time, Foundations of Medical Prep coming to Florida, coming to Jacksonville, Florida in April. So that's plenty of lead time. Save your pennies, save your dimes, and cut out something from your schedule to go do this 4-day course. It will be worth your while. It's one of the best investments you can make. It's the best prep you can really make. The best preps that you make will be the ones that you can carry within you forever. The ones that you can carry alongside of you, the knowledge, the skills. And to have an opportunity like this is such a blessing. So, once again, thank you, Patriot Nurse. Very much appreciate it. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys tonight on Twitch.